Your boy JAYSTAR back with another video for you guys. I want to say thank you for the likes, comments, the views from the first video. Really appreciate it. So let's get right into this new one right here. We're going to get talking about the quarterbacks, how I like to pick my quarterbacks when I'm making, my lineup and everything like that. I want to tell you the 3 things I look for. So I'm going to get right into this. Pat Mahomes, game log right here is what I go to. I like to pay attention to the pass attempts. That's the first thing I look for. I'm looking for 40 plus pass attempts because as you see, when a quarterback is throwing 40 times, it's more than likely you got opportunities to get 2 plus touchdowns, which is last year is what you needed to succeed and win a slate. It wasn't a lot of 3 plus touchdown games from most quarterbacks. I know you're gonna see it on Pat Mahomes, but it's Pat Mahomes, y'all. So you're gonna see what 1, 2, which this one don't even count. So this one counts here. So we got 1, but then the next 40 plus attempt one is right here, 2, and let's see, 40 plus 50 right here, 5, 3, and another. Then we got this one right here. So we got a few there, but it doesn't really happen no more that often because the way the teams play defense now, they stop you from throwing deep passes and things like that. So it makes it be you have to focus on more yards after catch type players or just a good quarterback that can dink and dunk his way all the way down the field, with 40 attempts. So like I said, Pat Mahomes is definitely a quarterback I would look at to play, but you already know his salary is going to be the highest one on the slate every time because he attempts so many passes and he actually goes for deep pass attempts as well. And but you can go see quarterbacks I would not be choosing. Let's look at right here. Lamar Jackson. You take game log here, pass attempts 4 for the last game. I think he probably got hurt in this game. But 37, 32, you got 2 40s here, and then 1 more 40 here. 3 40s in 14 games that it was played. That's too little. It's how I can't. How many times I'm gonna get a 3 touchdown pass game from him? You see a lot of them is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And that's why I wouldn't pick him. I don't think I even took him last year because I definitely didn't have him on this game when he threw 4 touchdowns. And I definitely didn't take him right here, which I don't know for sure. Some of these games, could be showdowns too where I couldn't even, definitely probably took him if it was a showdown. But besides that, I didn't take him in an all day slate. But as you see, his attempts are too low for me. I know he does rush. And you can go over here and look at his rush attempts. Let's see, yards right here, rushing, 120 yards right here with the 3 touchdown game. That's what you're picking him for, and I get it. 68 yards right here is 7 points. So every 10 yards is 1 point. So you got 7 points easily right there. But the thing is, like I said, I'm looking for the 2 touchdowns, and 2 touchdowns automatic is 8 points. So now if he was gonna throw 40 times and rush still 70 yards, then yeah, definitely I would love to take Lamar every freaking week. But his price is high all the time just because his rushing ability. Like I said, this 100-yard game right here, you talking about that's 13 points. 100 yards rushing, you get an extra 3 bonus points for 100 yards. So you already got the 10, like I said, with the 100. So you're getting 13 points there. In that game, I'm sure, even with the 1 touchdown thrown, he was probably worth it. But like I said, I'd like to really pay attention to pass attempts from quarterbacks. So Kyler Murray, he's a rushing quarterback too, but go to his game log right here. The thing is, he does have 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Oh, my bad. I thought he was up there with pass attempts, but the thing is, yeah, he does. He's very efficient and does still throw 3 plus touchdowns a game, which is crazy. So with his rushing ability too as well, I feel like compared to Lamar, the thing is Lamar doesn't have a lot of targets. So even though he's barely below the 40, like I said, so I would still count these games as he's almost throwing 40 right there. And so you talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. I would probably count this in there. So 6. He throws almost plus 40, most of the time. And he has the rushing ability to run in a touchdown. Right here at the beginning, he ran in 3 touchdowns with all the touchdowns he threw right here in the first thing. So this was crazy. You talking about 5 touchdowns right here, 4 touchdowns right here. It's crazy. Yeah, you had to have him these 2 weeks more than likely. But that's the first thing I like to look for. Like I said, passing attempts first. After I do that, I'm looking up, the offensive scheme for the team. Like we already know, Kansas City Chiefs, their offensive scheme is to throw, and they like to do big plays too at that. So like if I know that Kansas City wasn't like Arizona's defense is really good, against like the pass and stuff like that. That's why its offensive rank here for per quarterback is 12th. So they're almost a top 10 defense against quarterbacks. And it's really just because their safeties and I believe even their cornerbacks, they're kind of all fast. So it prevents you from having deep plays like that. So you like the Jets here, like the thing is the Jets did suck against the run. They weren't too good against, the pass either. But the thing is like offensive scheme here will benefit you taking Lamar Jackson this time. Like they was bad against the rush. He does run a lot, and they weren't good against the pass, and he only throws about one touchdown a game. So you're probably going to get a one touchdown rushed in by Lamar Jackson. You might get a 100-yard rushing game from him and a touchdown thrown to more than likely Andrews since he doesn't have that many targets. But like I said, I pay attention to offensive scheme. So like if I knew the Jets was bad against the rush, and I know they're bad against tight ends since Lamar doesn't have any receivers no more, since Marquise Brown has went to Kyler Murray, I would definitely take Lamar Jackson right here because I'm knowing he's throwing crazy targets to Andrews and he's gonna rush. Maybe he might rush in 2 touchdowns. Matter of fact, so you talking about a 3 touchdown game for Lamar Jackson. So like this will be an actual week that I would take him because of the team he's playing. I know his offensive scheme works going against his team. So otherwise, like I said, I didn't even take him at all last year. But Aaron Rodgers against Minnesota. Last year Minnesota's defense was bad, but I know it was a lot of injuries to the linebackers, even to their cornerbacks too. So I don't know for sure if Aaron Rodgers will be able to throw that great against them, but I know their rushing was bad, and it could be the running game could be really good in this game. So, but I do know too offensive scheme, like after the pass attempts, like we can go to pass attempts for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he really threw that many times over 40. He really didn't. It's like one game here. So I wouldn't be taking Rodgers all the time just because I know the Packers. I am a Packer fan, so I know how we play balance. We like to run. We like to do, some passing in there, but we like to run a lot. So it's very balanced. I don't think I would take Rodgers a lot. I know though, and then also a lot of these touchdowns too. You're talking about a lot of these touchdowns. I know he thrown more than 2 touchdowns a game a few times, or way more than a few times, matter of fact. But it was a lot of these touchdowns are going to Devontae Adams, which they're missing that target now, and I don't know who is going to be our touchdown receiver anymore. So those first 2 things is what I like to look for. The last thing that I like to look for is rush attempts, though. So I will look at rush attempts for quarterbacks, like I said, Lamar Jackson, because after the scheme, if the rush attempt part goes with this. You know what I'm saying? If I know the Jets is bad against the run, another team I know is bad against the run. Let me see, the Texans. But see, they're playing Matt Ryan. So like I wouldn't take Matt Ryan because of that. I have to know that okay, this team sucks against the rush and the pass, and I know Matt Ryan, he usually throws a lot. So let's see real quick. Game log. Yeah, so he has a lot of 40s right here, like a whole lot of 40s. So I know he has good weapons too. So like offensive scheme, like I said, like this team sucks against the rush. I know the thing is though, the Indianapolis Colts love to run. They won't run about 20 times at least with Jonathan Taylor because they have a great running back. But if I see after like the game 1 or game 2 in this season that he's throwing 40 times still with Jonathan Taylor, I'm playing crazy games like this, like him versus the the Texans, like because I know Houston is bad against the rush, so they're gonna be able to run on them and they're gonna be able to throw. So I can see Matt Ryan throwing 2 touchdowns, which I don't like to spend a lot of time picking my quarterbacks. I really like to get this over with real quick because last year there wasn't a lot of quarterbacks that was throwing plus 3 touchdowns. Like there was a lot more 2 touchdown games, and you could win with those quarterbacks. So I could go all the way down here to let's see. I would even say Mariota. Like I would even go down here. Let me see. Zach Wilson. I don't think he threw 2 touchdowns a game. Let me see. No, he was a 1 touchdown. Threw a couple times, but also like I said, the pass attempts were kind of low. But he has way more targets now than what like actual players now that he can throw the ball to. If we go to them real quick. Go to this Jets game. Where they at? I think they're on the next. Yeah. So we go to the Jets. Now he has Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and Garrett Wilson, the number 1 draft pick. So He has way more targets. Let me see his tight end. Oh yeah, and then he got CJ Uzama and Tyler Conklin. Wow, yeah, he has way more targets now to throw the ball to. So he might start off throwing 40 times a game now. Like he actually might be a way better quarterback than what he was last year. And like I said, after I see about 2 weeks of him throwing the ball to like 40 attempts a game, then I'm gonna go look at offensive scheme, how they like to play after that, and I go to pay attention to who they playing. Like if they was playing Atlanta, I know Atlanta was pretty bad against the pass. It says here what Kansas City. Oh yeah, Kansas City defense is going to be pretty bad now that they lost the Honey Badger. So like if he was playing the Honey Badger, this would be a great freaking pick to take Zach Wilson. Like be a great time to take him because he's so cheap in this lineup and stuff like here. Like locking him in at 5,100. And like I said, if he was throwing 40 times a game or near 40 times a game, you bank it on 2 touchdowns being passed, and against a team that's really bad against the pass, that's really great. But like I said, some of these times these 30s, these high ranks right here aren't just because they're bad against the pass. They could be bad against the rush and allow a lot of points fantasy, because this is all about fantasy points that these teams gave to the quarterback, not about that they allowed them to throw touchdowns. No, it doesn't always mean that. It could mean, like I said, like Lamar Jackson, they play the Jets and he rushes 2 touchdowns, so his fantasy is going to be 20 something points. They play Kyler Murray next week or something like that, and he rushes 2 touchdowns against them. So that's back-to-back weeks with 20 plus fantasy on for quarterback. So it's going to be way up here ranked 31st in the league and stuff like that. So like I said, I like to pay attention to the attempts, offensive schemes, and after that, rush attempts, for the actual quarterback if they do rush, because that could help get you over the hump, because last year was very hard for quarterbacks to throw 300 plus yards with the new defense that everybody's playing. They're playing a 3-4, some people are running a 4-3 like hybrid and stuff like that, but those defenses now require you to like chip away. So a lot of teams don't want to chip away because they got great quarterbacks now, in this league. We got Pat Mahomes, Talon Herbert, Kyler Murray can throw, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson's going to be back and he can throw and run. Burrow's a great thrower. Come on, Cousins can throw deep. Trey Lance, we still got to see. Derek Carr, crazy. He can throw. Tannehill doesn't throw a lot, and this is a type of team like I don't usually pick Tannehill too many times unless like I know the run game is gonna kill and open up the deep pass attempts that they like to throw off of the run game. So, like I said, offensive scheme is everything. Like you go look at Tannehill's stats. Attempts are going to be pretty low. I don't think he ever really throws. One time right here against Houston, because see, this right here, exactly what I mean, like offensive scheme. I know Houston sucks against the run. So I know their offensive scheme for the Titans is going to work with the run game, which is going to open up probably 1 or 2 attempts for a deep pass and for a touchdown, which he only hit on 1 touchdown. And then he only rushed, 3 yards that game? Okay. So he only rushed 3 yards that game. But he still had a decent game, fantasy-wise and everything. But like I said, it's not. You gotta really pay attention to offensive scheme, because it's not like it makes it a lot easier to start canceling out quarterbacks in here. Like so, for week 1, who I would cancel out, I'm gonna just let y'all know real quick. Week 1, I wouldn't cancel out Pat. I would keep Herbert. Lamar, like I said, because of who he's playing, he's a good pick still. Jalen Hurts might get canceled out. Be my first one I might cancel out, just because of the fact that they was a high rushing team, and I do know he has targets now, so he's going to throw. But if they do, because still want to rush with Miles Sanders, they can easily run on Detroit and win this game. Deshaun Watson's not going to play first game. Burrow playing Pittsburgh. I kind of want to stay away from this just because Pittsburgh was bad against the rush, and they have a good running back in Mixon, and they could probably run the ball a little bit, hit on like a couple of plays, but more than likely they'll just like run the ball in and win that way through the run game instead of throwing. Cousins against Green Bay, hard defense here, but he has a lot of good talent, so I would still play Cousins. Plus it's a rivalry, and like I said, they go one way or the other. It's gonna go really bad or just really good shootout, material game and stuff like that. Trey Lance against Chicago is going to be a run game. I don't know if I want to pay, $6,000 for him too. That's crazy. Like we don't even know what he can do yet. So I wouldn't pay for him. That would be a fade for me. Derek Carr versus the Chargers. They was really bad against the rush. But the Raiders last year did like to, throw more than they like to run the ball. So I would definitely take a shot with Carr. Tannehill against the Giants. I think they're going to be able to run on the Giants, so I wouldn't take Tannehill because I don't expect him to really be passing too much. They'll be able to run on the Giants easily, I think. Tua against New England, I wouldn't want him. And I know everybody's going to be on it because all the weapons they have. But New England only kind of gave up the run. So I feel like running with the receiver or running with their fast running backs that they got with Edmonds and Mostert, that would be a good game for those running backs and not for Tua for throwing wise. So I would fade Tua. Lawrence against Washington. I believe Washington, man, they was pretty bad last year, but they was banged up with Chase being out. You know, Chase Young on the edge rusher being out. But I think I would take a shot with Trevor. Yeah, I think I would. I don't want to say I would take him out. Fields, I would not take him. I would not take him. I know he has Pringle now, and you know Mooney, but he hasn't proven anything yet. And San Francisco defense against the pass is actually good, so I expect them to be having to run a little bit more, and they're even good against that. So I would fade Fields. Matt Ryan against Houston. Oh my God, this is probably a good pick. Wentz against Jacksonville could be a good pick. Jared Goff against Philly. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a bad pick. I wouldn't take Mac Jones. That would be a fade. I don't think Andy Dalton's playing. James Wilson, yeah. I think I would take Jamie. So Davis Mills, I would not take Davis Mills. So he would be a fade. Baker Mayfield against his old team. Cleveland defense is good, so I don't think Baker's gonna do that good, but I know he's gonna try hard. So I mean, you could take a shot still on him, but I might fade him. Mariota against New Orleans. Because he can run and he has big targets to pass after he comes out of the pocket running, I think Mariota could be still a good play. And let's see, Zach Wilson against Baltimore. Man, I don't know. I might do a wait and see for this. I might do a wait and see for this because I believe Baltimore wasn't good against. Man, I don't know for sure if it's the pass. Like I gotta really check and go back and look at these rankings if it was really the pass or they just 30th and something else. But I might take him. I might not. I might fade him. And let's see, going down to the end here, who else we got that I know that's playing? Oh, Daniel Jones against Tennessee. I know he has new weapons. Tennessee defense wasn't that bad, but I know they was pretty bad, I think, against the actual pass. He has weapons. He has to prove himself, though, because let's see, attempted passing and actually completing them. Like 38-23, 15-20, okay, 22, yep. Okay, 10, then here, okay, 40, 35, 20, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't complete a lot of his passes, and that would probably be why. And then his touchdowns last year was 1, a lot of ones, and I need two. Like I said, that's the next. Like the last thing I kind of do look for is that like are they even getting the 2 touchdowns plus because that's all you needed. And if a quarterback can get you 2 touchdowns, then like you can definitely take him. So that's probably the last one that's actually playing, I believe. No, my bad. It could be Pickett could be playing. We don't know yet if it's Trubisky or Pickett. So Trubisky and Pickett, and he has a lot of good targets. And Cincinnati was really bad against the slot. So, and they have, Freiermuth and also who they pick up? Let me go to them real quick. Pickens, and I think Pickens is going to be their number 1 pick in the draft. I think he's going to play the slot, taking Juju's spot, and I really think he's going to be a really good slot receiver. So I would definitely think he can get 2 touchdowns with those 2 weapons that he has now. Even if it's Trubisky or Pickett, playing quarterback. So that's what I'm saying. Like I would be able to go all the way down basically to Trubisky to pick my quarterback, and then I would save a lot of money on my salary. To pick better receivers, running backs, tight ends throughout the rest of the lineup, But those are the 3 things I like to look for. Like I said, is pass attempts, touchdowns per game, and offensive scheme. So if you find out those 3 things, and it works well, you're gonna win, man. I'm telling you, it really helps you pick the right quarterbacks. Like I said, the best one though, if I just had to just end this video real quick with who I would take for this week, because a matchup works out perfectly for those 3 things. Let's see, it would be let me see who I like the best matchup first. Matter of fact, who I said the last person I said, matter of fact, like if it was Trubisky, because I know he has Pickett and Freiermuth, like man, like I definitely would think I would stack those. That would be my first quarterback pick because I know he can get 2 touchdowns. Plus Trubisky kind of runs, And like I said, even if they went to the rookie, I still would probably take that shot. I think I would still take that shot because he has those weapons and two wideouts on the outside that's going to clear the field for them, because the way the defense is played now, they're going to double those two. So Chase Claypool and then Johnson, like they both going to get doubled, and then it's going to leave the middle of the field open. So I think you can get 2 touchdowns from Trubisky. So that would be my pick. You know, my low pick. My high pick, though, real quick, I'll give you a high pick too, because that was a cheap, really cheap low pick. My high pick would be, because of game, let me see, offensive scheme and pass attempts. I might take Carr. But he's kind of cheap still, man. Like, let me see, like higher ones up here. Let's go. Man, it would probably have to be Kyler Murray. It would be Kyler Murray. Yeah, just because I know Kansas City defense is bad, and I know Arizona wants them hit on big plays and things like that. They're going to get pass attempts, and plus also Kansas City's not going to be good against the run either. And I know Kyler Murray can run. Of course, he has Connor too, but you got him being able to run, as well as looking out for them targets with Marquise Brown and Zach Ertz. It's just, oh my God, like it's crazy how he has a loaded team with Rondale Moore too as well. So I definitely would, my high quarterback would be Kyler Murray, because it goes with my 3 things, like I said, that I'm looking for in my quarterbacks. And then the last one would be, like I said, if I'm going all the way cheap, it would be Trubisky. So I hope that all helped y'all, man. I hope those 3 things, you know, y'all stick with those 3 things. It will really help y'all, I'm telling you, like be able to get the right stack, or just picking the right quarterback every time you make your slate. But it's your boy JAYSTAR. I'll be back the next time, you know, with the running backs video. And I'm out. Peace.